Great Big Beautiful Life Summary, one of Emily Henry's deepest romance. What if the moment you've been working toward your entire life was the same moment that shattered you? What if the dream you poured your soul into becomes the very thing that shatters your identity? That's The Great Big Beautiful Life, a story where ambition collides with failure, where the past refuses to stay quiet and where love arrives slowly, gently, in the spaces where grief has hollowed you out. This novel grabs you not with spectacle, but with truth, the kind that feels uncomfortably close, the kind that whispers, "You've been here before, haven't you?" And just when you think you've settled into its emotional rhythm, here's your mini hook to keep you leaning in. Because this is the Emily Henry book where healing feels like a plotline, where forgiveness is a turning point, and where falling in love might be the bravest decision in the entire story. Emily Henry, the literary powerhouse behind some of the most beloved contemporary romances of our time, steps into deeper emotional waters with Great Big Beautiful Life. She doesn't just give us a love story. She gives us a psychological journey. She gives us a novel that explores ambition, failure, childhood wounds, and the terrifying vulnerability of letting someone truly see you. In this summary, you'll discover the full emotional arc of the story, the character dynamics that make the romance feel authentic, how Henry explores ambition, legacy, identity, and forgiveness, and what makes the slow burn romance so intensely satisfying. And at the end, I'll give you my personal review, not as an analyst, but as a reader who felt this story in my chest. Now, let's transition into the heart of the novel, where everything begins with a fall. Our protagonist, Daphne Vincent, is a woman who's always lived with one foot in survival mode and the other in aspiration. She crafted her identity around excellence, the perfect project, the perfect outcome, the perfect proof that she belongs in the world she fought her way into. But when her documentary, her masterpiece, her make-or-break moment, collapses publicly, Daphne loses everything at once: her credibility, her professional reputation, her self-trust, her sense of direction. Suddenly, she finds herself stranded in a quiet lakeside town, nursing a dream that feels dead and a future that feels blank. That's where she meets Miles, a man who understands public disappointment all too well. He grew up as a child star. He was adored, used, and abandoned by an industry that never cared about who he actually was. Miles carries the emotional weight of someone who had to grow up before he ever had a childhood. His legacy was chosen for him, and he has spent years trying to unlearn the person the world forced him to be. Their first encounters aren't dramatic. They're quiet, awkward, and strangely comforting. Two wounded souls bumping into each other's gentleness. Their story unfolds like real healing, small steps, hesitant conversations, tiny moments of trust that feel more intimate than kisses. Daphne's inner world. Daphne is ambitious, but not in a glamorous way. It's ambition sharpened by fear. Fear of failure, fear of worthlessness, fear of slipping back into the life she escaped. Her collapse becomes a turning point. What does success mean if it costs you your peace? Who am I without the achievements I used to make myself lovable? Her arc becomes about learning to exist without performing her value. Miles' inner world. Miles lives with the residue of childhood fame, the kind that turns a person into a myth before they even know who they are. He's gentle in the way people become gentle after being broken one too many times. He's observant in the way people become observant when they've been misunderstood all their lives. Miles's journey is about reclaiming ownership over his story and learning that vulnerability doesn't have to be a threat. Together, Daphne and Miles create a romance built not on fireworks, but on echoes. The echo of shared pain, shared fears, shared longing for a life that makes sense. Their bond forms through quiet late-night conversations, shared failures, the comfort of being understood, and the bravery of letting someone see your fractured parts. It's not two people rushing to love, it's two people learning not to run away. Henry shows ambition as a double-edged sword, a source of identity and a source of exhaustion. For Daphne, ambition was her way out. It was survival. But now she must learn ambition without self-destruction. For readers, the book becomes a mirror for how we chase goals, hoping they'll heal the things we don't talk about. Miles's struggle with legacy is heartbreaking. His entire life was shaped by a brand, a public image, a persona written by others. Henry dives into questions like, can you escape a past that made you famous? Who are you when the world only knows the mask? What happens when your legacy becomes your prison? This is Emily Henry at her most patient. The romance takes its time. There is tension, yes. There is chemistry, obviously. But the slow burn is emotional, not just physical. It's love built from safety. It's love born out of two people choosing to risk hope again. It's love that feels more like finding home than falling headfirst. The stakes aren't life or death, they're soul or nothing. Can Daphne forgive the person she used to be? Can Miles let someone in without fearing he'll be abandoned again? Can two people weighed down by their own histories create a future together? The emotional stakes feel real because they are real. They're the stakes we live with every day. That should be a wrap for this summary, but personally, what makes Great Big Beautiful Life special is its emotional honesty. Emily Henry strips away the glossy sheen of romance tropes and gives us something raw, something closer to the truth of adult love. This book is special because it's her most mature book yet. You don't just read it, you feel it. It's definitely a 9/10 stars. It respects the complexity of healing. It doesn't pretend love fixes everything, but it shows how love supports the fixing. Also, it gives us characters who are flawed, tender, scared, hopeful, and beautifully human. Moreover, the writing is lyrical without being pretentious. And lastly, the pacing is intentional, slow, steady, and emotionally rewarding. Among Henry's books, this one feels the most introspective, the most mature, the most quietly powerful. It's not just a book you read, it's a book you sit with and feel. And now I want to hear from you. Who do you relate to more, Daphne or Miles? Which part of this story resonates with you the most, the ambition, the legacy, or the slow burn love? Do you think Daphne and Miles needed to fall apart before they could fall for each other? And if you've read the book, what moment hit you the hardest? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing your perspectives. If this kind of deep, emotionally rich storytelling is your thing, then make sure you stick with us here on the Summary Shelf. This channel is all about exploring stories that stay with you long after the last page, stories that teach, challenge, comfort, and inspire. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, and stay tuned. We've got more powerful summaries coming your way, and I promise you don't want to miss what's next. Your next favorite book is just one summary away.